Coming up on OU Nightly tonight, I'm going to talk about the latest threats and timing for tonight's severe weather potential on campus. Coming up.
Plus, the mad dash for parking ahead of potential severe weather this evening. And find out why police tased a high school band director multiple times. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Kaylee Jo Hommel.
And I'm Emily Faith. Storms early this morning are setting the tone for severe weather tonight. OU Nightly meteorologist Hunter Brittingham is leading our weather team coverage. Hunter, what should we expect?
That's right, ladies. We do have the threat for seeing some strong, even severe storms later this evening and into the overnight. Our partners over at the Storm Prediction Center have our area under a slight risk for severe storms. That's a level 2 out of 5 risk. So areas here shaded in yellow, including Norman and the OU campus, Oklahoma City metro area, even portions of Tulsa, could be seeing large hail, damaging winds, an isolated tornado or two, and even some heavy rain and some localized flooding and downpours. Our OU Nightly meteorologist Lauren Brand is out in the field right now along the North Oval and along Campus Corner. Lauren, what are you seeing out there right now? What can people be doing to prepare for tonight's storms?
Yeah, that's right, Hunter. I am at Campus Corner right now, and it doesn't really look like storms are on their way. Students are still out and about, but we want to make sure that students and faculty start thinking about when they need to put their cars in the garage, because we are going to have those storms coming this way shortly. Now, the threats for tonight, we could see some large hail in the area. Oklahoma City and the metro is included in this, along with southwestern Oklahoma as well. We could also see some flooding risks as well, but this is going to be moved eastward out towards Tulsa as well. Hunter is going to have more information on these storms coming in the area coming up soon.
And that is right. As Lauren mentioned, coming up later on in OU Nightly, I'm going to talk more about the details for severe weather later tonight, take a look at our rain chances that are going to be lingering on, and also we'll take a look at our 7-day forecast with those temperatures.
Thanks to both Hunter and Lauren. The OU Nightly weather team will be tracking storms as they head towards campus. And this year, we have a new tool to alert you of warnings if you aren't able to watch at home or online. Check out the OU Nightly weather call. Scan the QR code on your screen to get a call or text for whatever address you want to enter. It costs $1 a month.
Every time storms roll in, campus garages fill up. Tonight is no different. Students wanting to protect their cars from the threat of hail. OU Nightly's Morgan Martin is live from the stadium garage. Morgan, how does it look out there?
Well, I'm here at the garage off of Ass, and it's one of the few garages on campus where students can go and typically go to keep their cars out of the hail. And so far, I've only seen a few commuter spaces open as of just a few minutes ago. But if you've been in Oklahoma for a while, you know that the weather is no stranger to change. Today, we saw everything from sunshine to rain to crazy winds. And now we're watching for another round of storms to enter the metro this evening. Students may try to park in the garages on campus to avoid that potential hail damage. And if you're one of those people leading up to the storms, OU Parking Services is enforcing typical rules until 9 p.m. After that, OU PD steps in to enforce ticketing in high priority areas, including disability parking and fire lanes. And if the garages fill up to the extent of blocking those driving lanes and traffic as a whole, OU PD will continue to issue citations. Reporting from campus, Morgan Martin, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Morgan. Today, a heartwarming homecoming of American prisoners surrounded by political turmoil. Victoria Anderson has that story and the rest of today's national headlines from the News Center. Victoria?
An emotional reunion on American soil today after 5 American prisoners are now free in a controversial trade deal. Negotiations led by President Biden brought the detainees home in exchange for the release of $6 billion in frozen assets, as well as 5 Iranian prisoners charged in the United States. The U.S. has asked for Iran to use the funds for humanitarian purposes only. And tensions high in Birmingham, Alabama after a high school football band performance turned violent. Police body cam footage show officers asking band director Johnny Mims to stop his students' performance after the game had ended. In the footage, you can hear Mims tell officers, quote, "This is our last song." After the performance was over, the video showed police tasing Mims 3 times before arresting him. And new testimony in Hunter Biden's ongoing tax investigation casts doubt on the claims of White House interference. CNN reports several FBI and IRS agents deny claims of Biden's involvement in his son's ongoing legal proceedings. This controversial new testimony brings to question Senator McCarthy's impeachment inquiry claims. And Hunter Biden is now filing a lawsuit against the IRS, alleging agents illegally released his tax information and failed to protect him as a private citizen. Kaylee, Emily.
Thanks, Victoria. President Biden and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke to UN leaders to address critical issues.
CNN reporter Gloria Pazmino has that story.
With the litany of crises facing the United Nations General Assembly,
our world is becoming unhinged.
Hope of progress on critical global issues is dim.
And we seem incapable of coming together to respond.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres decrying the stark divisions, violence, and chaos preventing progress on significant global crises, like climate change.
Our world needs statesmanship, not gamesmanship and gridlock.
President Joe Biden echoing the demand for action in the wake of multiple natural disasters.
Together, these snapshots tell an urgent story of what awaits us if we fail to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels.
While also affirming U.S. commitment to upholding democratic values and calling on member nations to stand up against Russia as it continues to wage war in Ukraine.
If you allow Ukraine to be carved up, is the independence of any nation secure?
In historic remarks to the Assembly, Ukrainian President Zelensky pleaded for more support.
We have a real chance to end the aggression on the terms of the nation which was attacked.
And warned of consequences if Russia's power goes unchecked.
When hatred is weaponized against one nation, it never stops there.
While some question the actual power and influence of the United Nations, the need for global cooperation, according to Biden, is clear.
We know our future is bound to yours. And no nation can meet the challenges of today alone.
In New York, I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
Russian President Vladimir Putin not in attendance this week as he faces the threat of arrest for war crimes if he leaves Russia.
Today, Oklahoma Superintendent Ryan Walters spoke at a House Education Committee hearing about Chinese influence in American classrooms. Walters claimed the Communist Chinese Party is puncturing the American education system through a program called Confucius Classrooms. He also accused left-leaning politicians of enabling foreign interference in schools.
The role that people like Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden have played in vilifying parents while directly empowering hostile foreign governments is shameful.
Walters called on Congress to take immediate action to address this issue. COVID cases are ramping up across campus.
How you can tell the difference between respiratory virus symptoms.
And flu season is also here.
How OU Health Services plans to keep campus healthy. Stick around for more.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Here on campus, Goddard Health Center is offering flu shots to students, faculty, and staff. Goddard says it all starts tomorrow. You can get the vaccines tomorrow in the Union or on Friday at Cross, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days. Don't forget to bring your OU ID and insurance card when you go.
Flu season is here, but RSV and COVID-19 are just as prevalent. COVID-19 is the most pressing right now, with over 19,000 hospitalizations last week. With these sicknesses having similar symptoms, there are a few ways to distinguish between them.
RSV and COVID are more gradual usually in symptom onset and may start with a runny nose and then progress to other symptoms.
Loss of appetite is another symptom associated with RSV as well. To help combat against the triple threat this fall is an updated COVID vaccine and a new shot for RSV.
How one iconic artist's works could be hung in your home.
But that painting comes at a steep price. We've got details coming up next.
And I'll have the latest timing on the severe weather as it makes its way across campus later on tonight. Stay with us.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Well, welcome back to OU Nightly. Thank you so much for joining us. We're taking a look right now at the South Oval across OU's campus, and we've got a mixture of some clouds in there with that sunshine right now. A few students walking on campus this afternoon, beating the rain that we saw earlier this morning, and we are going to be seeing some more rain later on tonight. Right now, we are not having our conditions populate right now, just a few technical issues, but we do have the winds south-southeast at 21 miles per hour, and those temperatures holding on into the 70s and 80s. But All across Oklahoma, we are seeing 81 degrees in Oklahoma City, 86 in Enid. Some cooler temperatures off to the east where they're still hanging on to some showers and even occasional thunderstorms as well. Where they haven't seen a lot of the precipitation is where we are heating up very warm into those middle to upper 80s and low to mid 90s as well. So 88 in Lawton, 90 in Woodward, 94 over in Elk City. A dry line is taking shape over here, and that is going to cause some additional redevelopment of showers and thunderstorms later on this evening and into the early overnight, and that is what we need to watch here across Norman and OU campus later on tonight, but more on that timing in just a bit. Our wind gusts are pretty gusty right there out there right now, 26 miles per hour in Norman, 29 up in Oklahoma City. Lauren was definitely seeing and talking about some of these wind gusts that she was seeing earlier out there in the newscast, and that is coming ahead of the storms later on in the forecast. But our radar image right now, as I mentioned, still some lingering showers and storms impacting the Tulsa area, Muskogee, McAllister, and Ardmore, really staying east of I-35. But could start to see some additional redevelopment along the I-44 corridor, and as these storms push off to the east-southeast between 25 and 30 miles per hour later on this evening. So between now and 10 p.m. we could start to see some redevelopment here in this green area, and then for Norman, Oklahoma City, and points to the east, anywhere between 5 p.m. and midnight we could start to see the development of strong to severe showers and thunderstorms. So what risks are we talking about? Well, we have a low tornado potential, a wind potential, as well as hail and flooding. So we could be seeing 60 to 80 mile per hour winds, up to quarter size and ping pong size hail, and localized flash flooding as well. So we have a 2% chance of an isolated spin up or brief tornado out there. It does include Norman and Oklahoma City, but the primary concern is going to be the large hail and flooding. So here in yellow, we could start to see some of that golf ball and even ping pong size hail later on tonight, as well as we could also see the 60 to 80 mile per hour winds here in the yellow region as well. As Lauren mentioned, the flooding threat is going to remain pretty much off to our east this evening, but we could see those storms as they continue to move from west to east. They could be going pretty slow, and they could dump some heavy downpours at times. Right now, we are hanging on to a few clouds and those showers and storms off to our east. We will start to see the redevelopment down about 9, 10 o'clock tonight along the I-44 corridor, and as they are going to push off to the east, we will see several rounds of showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe. So in the 7-day forecast, we do have the chance for lingering showers and storms for the next 5 days, anywhere from a 20 to 40% chance of showers and storms as those temperatures hold on into the upper 80s and lower 90s before we start to see a cool down in our temperatures and a return back to fall, where we start to see those temperatures in the lower to middle 80s. So if we can get through tonight's severe weather threat, we will be hanging on to some lingering showers and storms throughout the remainder of the week, but not looking like another evening where you're going to have to put your cars in the garage.
I was just about to ask you, what are some of the ways that students can be weather aware as this is moving in tonight?
Well, definitely sticking into OU Nightly, making sure that you're staying pinned to social media as well. You also want to ensure that if you do have a car on campus, you're moving that to a safe location, just because even though not everyone is going to see the hail and damaging winds, it's still possible. So you do want to make sure you're doing your part to stay safe and keeping your vehicle safe as well.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Hunter. We appreciate the update. A rare original Bob Ross painting is up for sale online for $10 million. This is the first time the painting titled A Walk in the Woods is being listed online. The man who acquired the piece, Ryan Nelson, says this is considered a rookie card of Bob Ross paintings. It is one of the earliest paintings to be on Ross's show, The Joy of Painting. While the painting is up for sale, Nelson still doesn't know if he wants to let go of it quite yet.
Consider any situation where we can put it out to the public. I would rather be able to travel the piece, let other people enjoy it.
Nelson added that if he does sell the piece, the painting would include a written statement from the original owner. Head football coach Brent Venables updates Sooner fans on who is healthy and who won't return to the field this season.
Darby McCormick has more on OU football's injury report coming up next.
Spring football is changing. I have more on where Bob Stoops will coach next. And you'll hear from a current Sooner on who OU's biggest opponent is this season.
It all can get so out of control. Sometimes you can lose your faith, you can lose your mind, lose your grip, get stripped of your pride till you don't know how you're gonna stay alive. Hey, hey, I got you. I will give you what you need, and I'll be right there. I got you back. I got you.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hello, I'm Darby McCormick, and it's time for sports. After OU football faced the Tulsa Golden Hurricane last Saturday, the Sooners are gearing up for conference play. Dylan Gabriel took the start of the season by storm, setting a new single-game school record for pass completion percentage. But with the 55th 3-0 start of this program history, Sooner fans search for what makes Team 129 stand above the rest. Head coach Brent Venables shares what he sees different about the QB1 and the rest of his team from last season.
I don't know if he's taking pressure off himself or not, but he looks like he's having a lot more fun. And that was prior, to the start of the season. I think the group of guys around him, both players and coaches, everybody's more comfortable just being in the system for another year. And then some of the newcomers have really adjusted quickly.
OU football heads to Ohio Saturday to take on Cincinnati in the Bearcats' first ever Big 12 conference game. Saturday is the third time the two teams have met. The Sooners won the previous two matchups, but redshirt senior Isaiah Coe says OU's biggest opponent is who's looking at them in the mirror.
I feel like the biggest challenge is ourselves. We know what we're capable of. We know who we are as a university, as a football team. And I feel like if Oklahoma doesn't beat Oklahoma, we can do whatever we want. So I feel like as long as we keep doing that, take it opponent by opponent, don't look too far ahead, respect everybody that we play, that, anything can happen. And, Oklahoma can, do whatever we want.
And Brent Venables shared new information on the team's injury situation this morning. Since Justin Harrington sat with a knee brace during the Tulsa game, Desan McCullough will play in the cheetah position this Saturday. And while defensive end R. Mason Thomas might make a return, both Phil Picotti and Jaden Rowe are undergoing season-ending surgeries. The USFL and XFL are merging together. They want to create a single secondary spring football league. The two are expected to combine ahead of the 2024 season. You can look forward to former OU head football coach Bob Stoops taking his reigning XFL championship team into the new domain of spring football. And as the Husky Invitational wraps up in Washington, OU men's golf places second out of 14 teams. And out of the 9 players that represented OU, redshirt senior Luke Kluver placed 6th overall currently. Back to you.
Thanks, Darby. Coming up on OU Nightly, a nail-biting attack that turned into a heartwarming rescue.
How one newborn animal was given a second chance at life. Stick around to find out more.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Things like grass clippings and leaves can contribute harmful levels of nutrients into our surface and drinking water. We must improve water quality at Lake Thunderbird, our main drinking water source, which begins with taking care of our stormwater. Bag your clippings when mowing, or leave them to break down and nourish your lawn. We drink our stormwater, so don't blow it by leaving your grass clippings in the street. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
I'm Abby Hollinsworth at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Oklahoma City Police say they have rescued a man after a boat capsized on Lake Hefner. According to officers, the man called police earlier today, saying that he was floating in the water with a life vest on. Kaylee, Emily, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Abby. A fishing trip with friends in Homer, Alaska turned into a heroic rescue mission for one baby otter. Natalie Hunter, an Alaska Sea Life Response Team member, spotted a group of orcas attacking the pup and took action.
After taking the otter to the Alaska Sea Life Center, staff members realized the newborn was only a day or possibly only hours old. The fuzzy patient is currently under 24-hour care.
The severe weather continues to move in.
Let's check with OU Nightly meteorologist Hunter Brittingham for one last update.
That's right, ladies. Right now, across the Oklahoma City metro area, we've just got a few showers moving across from west to east, and those will continue to build over the next several hours, where we do have that threat for strong to severe thunderstorms. So we're talking damaging winds, large hail, the possibility of a spin-up tornado or two, and the localized flooding potential. So the rain chances are not going to end just tonight. 89 for the high tomorrow, and then 88 and 90 for Thursday and Friday, respectively. We'll start to clear out a little bit this weekend, hanging on to some cooler temperatures in the lower 80s.
Thanks, Hunter, and you'll want to sign up for Weather Call Next Gen ahead of tomorrow's severe weather risk. Scan the QR code on your screen to register. You will receive a call when severe weather alerts are issued for your location for $12 per year. Thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Kaylee Jo Hommel.
And I'm Emily Faith. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. And finally, we're leaving you with a look at how beautiful campus is tonight. Good night.
Prepared as your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane. You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why